note. I had to turn the freezer off. It was making too much noise. Gotta remember to turn it back on. We've left it off before and it was bad. I had to throw out so much food. Oh my god. Joints. Oh. Okay, it's beer number 2 from Pat. From Pat's Brewery. That's what we're doing. Kolsch, 4.5%. Hops, Herbsburger. Yeast, Y Yeast Labs 1007. I'm guessing that's a Kolsch yeast. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with the kind of liquid yeast these days because I've been using dry yeast now almost exclusively. Can't get it open. Christ, that. Oh! Okay, it's looking pretty clear in the glass. I'm hoping it's going to be clear when it comes out too. Well carbonated. That head's kind of took me by surprise a bit. Okay, let's get it poured. It's off the keg anyway, so shouldn't be any muck in there anyway. So we'll say yes. Kolsch 4.5%. So I can't remember the last time I made Kolsch. It's more kind of lager I make these days, but even then, it's not kind of your classic German type of lager. I do use the German lager water profile, German pills usually, but that's about as far as it gets. I do have loads and loads of noble hops in there as well too, Hallertau and Pearl and all these other ones, and I really should probably do something. I think this year we're gonna maybe do something, brew it, and we'll just leave it sitting out, and we'll do it. Kind of use the ambient temperatures over the winter, let's say, to lager probably basically. So that's the way we're going there. There's a lot of big. It's a big ale. It's very well carbonated and not as a proper lager glass, so we may have to wait for a few minutes for that to settle down. So yeah, I made a couple of Kolsch a few years ago, and I wasn't keen on it to begin with. I used California Common yeast, I think, on both versions, and I wasn't keen on it to begin with. But then after about 6 or 7 weeks, oh my god, it turned amazing. So maybe that's something to do with the yeast. Maybe that's just conditioning or something. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's just because it's a lager. It's not a lager, but you know what I mean. It's close to a lager, let's say, even though it's Kolsch's ale temperatures. So yeah. That might be an option to do that. But as I say, I've got a load. I'm going to use the ambient temperatures a bit more, I think. And that would probably be best, I think. And then we'll got the fridges in here, and we can use them if we need to, but I'd rather not, because of, the electric and stuff like that. I will just wait. I'm just going to wait. Just going to wait, Pat. This is my time, not yours. Okay, I was going to wait. But we'll just fire on. We shall fire on with it. There's it there. So, I mean, I would say now a Kolsch should be really kind of light. Not sure, it doesn't say what the malts are. Can't remember what's in it. But yeah, it looks fractionally too dark. I mean, it's fine. To be honest, it's homebrew, it's fine. But I mean, you know what? It doesn't really matter, because it doesn't matter what you do with it. If you don't brew it in Cologne, it's not a Kolsch. So you know what? It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So yeah, it looks pretty clear. Not absolute crystal clear. But I'm sure in time it'll all drop out, and that certainly will be, because that is pretty clear already. Well carbonated, we have established that, especially in this glass. Nice head on it. And that is definitely the carb. That's gonna keep that going. So on the nose, what is it? Hersbrucker. It's interesting on the aroma. You definitely get, there's a little bit of note of the malt in there actually, but there's also this kind of, it's a bit of a floral aroma. Mixed in with that malt. Wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say there's any kind of spicy kind of notes off it. Maybe I suppose that's more Saz, isn't it? But there is definitely that kind of floral note to it. I really like the way the combination of those hops and the malt, and it's given it an almost like a marmalade type of aroma. Really kind of rich. It smells quite tasty. Let's put it like that. Okay, I'm going in. It's died down a little bit now, so let us stop wasting time. Let's get one more wipe of the glass. Okay. Cheers, Pat. You know, the weird thing is that even though it looked like it had tons and tons and tons of carbonation, it doesn't taste like that. It doesn't taste like really fizzy. It's some kind of optical illusion, clearly. There is no bitterness I'm picking up. The taste is really kind of, it's really nice. It's really nice for a start. It's really kind of, it's not like a kind of lager you drink it and you don't even notice it. You definitely notice the flavour on that. And it is that kind of marmalade type of flavour. I'm not sure what what is it, orange marmalade or something like that? Can you get any other marmalades? I'm not sure. That's nice. That actually does remind me a bit of the one that I brewed. And it had that similar kind of taste to it. I can't remember what the hops were. Possibly some kind of Hallertau. One of them. I know they're not all the same, but they're near enough the same, let's be honest. Really easy to drink. Really super easy to drink. 4.5%. The body is feeling, it's light, but it's like the beer last night. It's light, but it still feels like a bit more than the sum of its parts for some reason. So I'm not sure what kind of trick you pulled there, Pat, but I like it. See, you put it in and it just goes insane. Maybe it's the glass. So let's get a drink of it now while it's going insane. It's gonna have a massive white moustache after this. Yeah, it's that kind of really marmalade like flavor, which is must be can only be the kind of mix of the malts. I'm not sure what malts are in this, but the malts and the hops, and they're combining to have this kind of lovely malty flavor, malty sweet, but still a little touch of kind of fruit or something in there, or floral or something, just to get an extra oomph. Yes, I definitely like that. I think this beer actually was the voted the best beer of Oktoberfest. I think it's probably my favourite of the two so far. And I like Amarillo, but I think this one is actually really good. It's just that taste. It's just that taste you get on it. Very Moorish. Yeah, it definitely does taste like the one I brewed. It's coming back to me. And that's the type of flavour, but for whatever reason, I just wasn't liking it those first few weeks. And a little bit of conditioning time, and then it's just, marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. But anyway, I'm going to go. Cheers, Pat. Thank you very much. Oh, I could do another one of them right now. What's that noise? You hear that? I think it's my stomach, actually. It is. Okay, got a beer review. This is the third beer from Oktoberfest. Pat's Brewery. Hell's Block. Hell's Bock. Hell's Bock. 6.2%. Hops, Hirschberger. Yeast is White Labs. WLP 838. Just gonna check. It's the Kolsch from last week, so that's a Kolsch yeast 1007 on USO5. So yeah, they are three different yeasts. I had thought he'd used 838 on something else, but obviously not. It was the kind of Kolsch yeast, but obviously it's gonna be a Kolsch yeast because that's what makes it a Kolsch. No, it's not. It needs to be brewed in Cologne, as we've already determined many times before. Doesn't matter what yeast. I'm talking to you, Jacko. It doesn't matter what yeast you use. You can use USO5 if you want. It's still not a Kolsch. Okay, here we go. Okay, well carbonated. We're in a cider glass tonight, so that's yet another mistake. So you just don't know. You just don't know what it's going to be like until you open it. Until you're in the middle of pouring it, and then you realise you got the wrong glass. If I had a Guinness glass, something like that, would have been dead, completely dead. I mean, it would have been perfect, obviously, but I mean. Okay, so Helles Bock. What is a Helles Bock? I don't actually know. I know what a Helles is, and I know what a Bock is. So it's a Helles. It's a strong. Helles is a really light lager type. And a Bock is something that's stronger. So is it just a strong lager? I don't know. It's not really. It's not a style I'm familiar with. If it is a style, I don't know. But let's try it and see. It smells interesting. It smells very malty to begin with. Okay. Let's have a look at it first. Now, obviously I haven't poured the whole thing in, but it looks pretty clear to me. Looks pretty clear to me. Lots of carbonation, as we have discovered. Lots of it. Nice white head, that is going to stay. How many fingers is that? It's two. It's 2 fingers, that's what it is. just here to amuse myself. That's all. I'm just amusing myself, passing time. Now, obviously, there's a big mad foamy head on it, but I'm definitely getting. It smells malty, but there is a touch of the kind of floral notes about it from those hops. Definitely. I just know what this is going to taste like before I taste it, just going by the smell. Okay, I'm going in. Cheers, Pat. That's got quite a big body on it. It's not... I'd probably say it's medium to full. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's the full. The full, but so in my head a full is like special brew, which is actually quite nice. We've determined in those F Friday videos. And it's got that big body, and it's got the sweetness from the malt, and it's got the kind of the hop flavour in there, a little bit of bitterness, not too much, and if anything, it's probably too sweet, too like sickeningly sweet. This one just pulls back. It's got that same kind of flavour. As I say, I quite like special brew, but it can be just a bit too much for drinking more than kind of one or two maybe. So yeah, the sweetness then, it changes the flavour, because you can taste the hops in there. It is definitely that sort of noble floral type of character that you always get, but yeah, but that big body on it is making a difference. It's hard to describe what it is. I'd say the best way I can describe it is by calling it like special brew. That's not, I'm not insulting it. As I say, I quite like special brew. And it was brewed for what, Sir Winston Churchill, as we now know. Okay, that's just clouded that right up. I mean, that was off the key. Yeah, you can see it in the bottom actually. So maybe the beer is so big that it's got its own little shrub in the bottom of the pint. No matter, that just gives it a bit extra flavour, doesn't it? And I always think bottle conditioned beers, for the slagging that they get, they do taste pretty good. If you can get it right. And if you can get it right, I mean the carbonation. It's a bit hard. It's a lot harder to control, let's be honest. But yeah, I think the flavour that you get is probably better than the keg, I would say. Not for all beers. Sorry, Pat, I'm just supposed to be doing a beer review and I'm talking about carbonation. But yeah, I think for hoppy beers and stuff, I think I would prefer them on keg. But on like bitters, pale ale, stuff like that, bottle condition is pretty decent. Anyway, not sure why that is, but that's a conversation for another time, I think. So let us finish up then with this review. What can I say about this beer? there's no real bitterness to it. It's just you take it in and then you notice the body, and then there's this flavour that comes through, which is that kind of special brew flavour. It must be just the big malt bill on it. 6.2% this is. I'd love to know what it finished out on, Pat, if you can tell me that. Because I am curious. Because it kind of tastes like it finished out quite high. But yeah, that gives it its own character though, I think. That flavour when it comes through, that big bloody body, mixed with hops. It gives it its own kind of flavour. Or its own character. So yeah, that is a decent beer. I don't know that that's something I would brew. I think of the three, as I've got the bottles in front of me, I'd definitely brew the other two. Not sure about the 6.2%. That might be just too much to have on like keg. Maybe a small batch and have one then again. Curious to know how it would age as well too, because it would be one of those ones that I would only drink now and again. So bottling might work better. But yeah. So there's no point me droning on and doing another 10 minutes. Thank you very much for the beer meal, Pat. 3 really good beers. Really like them. Each has their own character. Of the 3, in fact, I'm not going to pick favourites. I'm just going to say thank you very much for sending them to me. And yeah, everyone else, I'll see you later.